Alright, Ma, you're welcome to this video. First of all, these are the measurements that I'm going to be using throughout the video. Let's take a look at the style closely. Now, if I zoom in, what you can see is that we have, first of all, it has this shape, and on this particular dress, this is a straight dress, so it just flows all the way down. The cut itself is pretty easy. The only thing that I think, the only issue you might have is how to go about making this, this cutout. That's this S design, that's the curvy design. What I'll need to show you is how to use that curvy design to create the dart as well on the top part. But yeah, basically this is what you see here is quite easy. It's basically just a cutout in the center, but most of the work is going to be in the beading, that's having to do the bead work. For her here, you can see a lot of her it's basically see-through. You can see her belly button. So, but you can do this with any fabric of your choice in the center. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Also, the cape, that's the cape you can see on it, is basically just tacked on. I'm going to show you how to cut that as well. It's quite easy. But first, for the main part, is going to be this dress that we have here. So the cut we are dealing with is a very basic -6. So when I say a basic -6, it means when you want to start drafting, you will need to throw away 6 inches off the top. There is not going to be a shoulder. That, if you look closely at that cape, you can see that it was simply just tacked on at this point here. So you just need to use hand needle to attach the cape to the body, otherwise they are separate. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to roll a line at the top of the paper. This line here is going to serve as the allowance for joining, for finishing the top part neatly. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place all my vertical measurements. So remember when I said the dress is a basic -6, what I meant is you're going to simply push 6 inches away from the top. All right, that's what's going to give you that cleavage. For what I can see here, they came down a bit more. This is up to a -8, but depends on what you are comfortable with. What you are going to use to judge how comfortable you are with however you will cut it is the proximity of the cut to your to where your bust is, to the central point of your bust. That's your nipple area. So what we're going to do, we're going to throw away 6 inches at the top. We're going to mark the underbust length at 19. So we're going to mark the underbust length at 19. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to mark our bust points. So I'm working with an underbust length of 14, so we're going to do -4. That's how we find our bust. 1, 2, 3, 4. So our bust, if the underbust length is 14, the areola would most likely sit close to 4 inches. So you can see from here, you can decide, okay, I want mine to be in the picture. You can come down and make it a -7 and cut even lower than the -6 that I have done. So it all depends on what you prefer. So after we are done with this, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come 2 inches after the underbust round to just above where the belly button is and make the underbust length, and make a mark. From these 2 inches, I will place 8 inches after here, and that's where I'm going to have my hip. Alright, then and so on and so forth. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to come to the end of the paper. Okay, for me, the dress is basically just a straight dress at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is you're going to need to take the shoulder to the knee. The shoulder to the knee for most people is around, for you, it's around 40. For most people it's around 40. For women, around from 5'6" to 5'9". That's where most women will sit, between 5'6", 5'9", 5'11", around there. So I'm going to place the knee is around 40. I would come 2 inches above that and make a mark. All right, then let's just assume that the end of my paper, let me see if you can see the paper. Let's assume the end of my paper is the end of the dress. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rule horizontal lines across all these points. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to place the bust measurement. So the bust 37 divided by 4, 9.25. I'm going to place 9.25 here. I'm going to skip the under bust length. I'm going to come over to this 2 inches after and I'm going to place the underbust round here. The underbust round is 32. I'm going to place 8 inches. 32 divided by 4, 8 inches. I place that here. I'm going to come over here to the hip. The hip I'm working with is 38. 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. I place that here. And then I'm going to come to the knee. These 2 inches above the knee that I placed here. These 2 inches above the knee. I'm going to come here. If I place 9.5 here, I will subtract 2 inches from 9.5, so 7.5. And I'm going to place down here. That's going to help you narrow down the bottom half a bit. Whatever you place here, you place all the way to the end of your dress. So if you are making a long dress, that's a very long dress, you'll be working with a length of like 60 something. But whatever you place here, you take to the end of wherever your dress is and place. Here is 40, it's around 40 something. But if you are making this, you keep on coming down until you get to whatever length you need. All right. But whatever you place here is what you place at the hem of the dress. For me, it is around 40 something. For you, if you're making it as a long dress, it will be 60 something. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the lines together. The next thing I'm going to do is we have to now start creating our bust dart. Alright, our bust dart. Next thing we're going to do, place your nipple to nipple measurements. Alright, so you take your nipple to nipple measurements, divide it. Once you just know where it is, you're going to take your nipple to nipple measurements. For this bust size, it's around 8 inches. 8 inches divided by 2 is 4 inches. Okay, 4 inches plus half an inch. Sorry, the nipple to nipple for this bust size is 7. 7 inches divided by 2 is 3.5. 3.5 plus half an inch for joining it back takes us to 4 inches. So you're going to just make a mark around 4 inches here. Make a mark around 4 inches here. Make a mark around 4 inches at the half cut as well. Alright, when you've marked all these points, next thing I want you to do is I want you to come over here to this bust area, and I want you to move 2.5 inches away from the center. You see this? 2.5 inches away from the center. Move to the side. Just leave that one there for now. Alright? The next thing I want you to do is I want you to join a line from here to here. Alright? And then measure here. Whatever you have here, you place at the top. So here 6.5, we're going to come here, make a mark at 6.5 and connect here and here together. Leave that side first. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to come under here. This is where our dart has a lot of work to do, here and here, but here first. The next thing you're going to do is we're going to need to take out the allowance for the darts. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out 1 inch on both sides. So 1 inch to the left, 1 inch to the right, 1 inch to the left, and 1 inch to the right. Alright, that's going to be a lot. Alright, that's to help lift the thing up. So what we're going to do next, connect here to here, here to here. Alright, then you're going to come up to here. At the top here, you're going to mark half an inch on the left, half an inch on the right. Alright, and then you're going to connect them together. So you're going to connect here to here, you're going to connect here to here, and then what you're going to do is this. I want you to connect here. You see here? I want you to connect here with here. Okay? You see that? And then I want you to taper from this 1 inch now. I want you to taper out towards the center of the line. So watch what I'm doing. From the big 1 inch, taper out to nothing. From this big 1 inch here, taper out to nothing. See what I have done there? Alright? Now by the time you sew from here, join this side together, it will help the top part relax flat on the bust. Then you're going to sew along, and then by the time you grab here too, it's going to make this side here go in, and this central area, you see there's a dart here, there's a dart here, so this will make, by the time you join it together, this is going to leave space that will be enough for the bust. Okay, so that's how you go about making that line that's flowing from the top going down to act like a dart. Alright, so that's how you go about that. Now next thing we're going to do, we're going to have to turn this into the line. So what you're going to do is this. You're going to come over to here, you're going to find the center. This is 9.5. 9.5 divided by 2 You're going to bend your tip, divide it by 2, get the point. So it's sitting around 5 inches. You are going to move 2 inches away from the center. You see this is the center. I've moved away 2 inches. Next thing I want you to do, connect this first line we drafted to this line here. Do the same thing here. You measure the down part. It's 7.5. You're going to divide. Okay, you can see. You're going to divide 7.5 in 2. And then you're going to find the midpoint. Alright? Then move away from that midpoint by 2 inches. Connect that line here to the center. Alright, next thing I want you to do, you have to complete this dot. So you're going to come down by 4 inches and make a mark. So from this line, come down 4 inches, make a mark, and then taper out this line to nothing. Alright, now we're going to have to keep the appropriate amount of allowance everywhere. Now, before we even start placing our regular allowance for sewing, we're going to have to place the allowance that will replace all these cuts that we've been making, including these cuts that we've made here. Because these cuts here, remember, it's going to go all the way down. We're going to need to replace whatever the cut would consume sewing. So by the time I put my scissors here, it's going to be separate. If you need to join them back together, we would consume half an inch of allowance on both sides, a total of 1 inch. I hope you understand. If I put my scissors here and cut, and we're joining it back, half inch will be lost from here, half inch will be lost from here. That gives us a total of 1 inch. So we're going to need to first pay back that allowance before we even start adding our regular allowance that we leave inside. So we're going to mark 1 inch here. If you are, and you know this is my hem, so I'm marking it here. If you are dealing with something that is long, this 1 inch you need to run all the way down. Okay, we're going to come here as well. We're going to make a mark at 1 inch. Connect the line together. Alright, now up to the top is going to be a lot of replacing. So you see here we have this half inch that we've consumed. That's already 1 inch that we took away. Then plus the extra half inch we will need. So this half inch plus half inch, that's 1 inch first of all. Then by the time we are joining this together, we'll consume half inch and half inch. That's another 1 inch. So now we're paying back 2 inches on this side because of the half inch we took out. Okay, because of the half inch we took out, and because of the 1 inch that we are going to add of the half inch that we are going to sew. So here we're placing 2 inches. Okay, here at the center, just place 2 inches. All right, then here, so we took out 2 inches. We took out 2 inches, so 1 inch, 1 inch, and we're going to need another half inch to sew. So 1 inch plus 1 inch is 2 inches, plus half inch, 2.5, plus another half inch, 3 inches. You're going to make a mark here at 3 inches. You're going to make a mark here at 3 inches. And then what I want you to do is connect them together. We're going to connect here to here. All right. You're going to connect here to here, and then you're going to simply connect here to the bottom. You can go ahead and cut this out. So you see that's how you go about this. No, I forgot one thing. This here is perfect. This is perfectly fine. But this part here, when you are cutting it on your fabric, please add an extra 1 inch everywhere on the side. So you see this, you're going to have 1 inch here running from the top all the way down to the end of your dress. This first allowance we added is not for sewing. This first allowance we added is for paying back for joining all of this. It's not for our side allowance. So please, you need to add 1 inch here running all the way down to the end of the dress. I hope that is clear. Alright, so let's get on to drafting the back. So we already have an outline on the side here. So let me just straighten out the paper. Let me just straighten out the paper. After doing all of that, I'm simply going to extend these lines all the way to the end. So this is the line at the top. Alright, after you have marked out all of your points, next thing I want you to do is I want you to keep your zipper allowance of 2 inches in front of it, okay? Keep your zipper allowance everywhere. Alright, next thing I'm going to do, just place all the other measurements like we did in the front. So up here, I'm going to place your bust. So first of all, place your bust at 9.25. Then place the same thing up here. You're going to place your underbust round at your half cut. 32 divided by 4, 8. You're going to place your hip over here. The hip is 9.5. That's when it has been divided. You're going to subtract 2 inches from the 9.5. You're going to place that here. So 7.5, 7.5. Then you connect your lines together. Alright, next thing we're going to do is you're going to need to hold your darts. So the back is going to have a dart. From the center here, you want to come in by your nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus half inch. So for me that's 4. You make a mark at 4. Roll the line from here straight up. And then after this your half cut here, you want to come down by 3.5 inches. Alright, so you see that's how you're going to hold your dart. When you are holding your dart, the fullest point of your dart should be at your half cut. So here, so you start from nothing. You stitch, open it up to 1/2 inch here and taper in. So your thread will look something like this. Open up to here and close up here. So you see that? Okay, now the next thing we're going to do for the back is easy. Just simply place your allowance of 1 inch on everywhere from here running all the way down, and that's all for the back. Alright, the back doesn't have any. If you want, you can at the back play with it a bit, but it wouldn't matter because there's a cape covering it. But the back, if you want to cut the back, you know, make the back a U, make the back a V, do all of that, you can go ahead and do this after you have the basic block. But simply just add your 1 inch of allowance on the side and you are done. If you know you want to make the thing really curvy, if you want to, you know, make it fit even more and you know to be tighter, what you can do is over here around the half cut area, you can come in here by just 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch will be enough. 1/2 inch over here, and then what you are going to do, you're going to connect this to your hip and then connect it to the top. But when you are holding your zipper allowance, even though you have taken this out, even though you have cut this part here out of your fabric, when you are holding your zipper allowance, you still hold 2 inches everywhere. By the time you sew 2 inches from here, hit 1/2 inch here, taper out back to the 2 inches. This place here would, you know, go into the back some more. So just in case you want to do all of that, you still have that option. But if you want to be comfortable, you can do without this if you have a bit of a belly. But if you know that your belly is flat, you can still do this to make it a bit tighter. So that's how you go about cutting the front and the back. Alright, so when you are trying to work on the cape is going to be really easy. The first thing you want to do is you want to fold a lot. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your hip measurements. Right, it's going to be a lot of waist, though I'm not going to experience all of that, but it's going to consume a lot of fabric. You're going to take your hip measurements. Alright, take your hip measurements, divide it into 4 places, okay, and then I want you to add an extra of at least 12 inches to the side. So what you're going to do is this: you're going to take your hip. So let's say our hip is 9.5, so you're going to do 9.5 by 9.5 plus 12 inches. So that should give us around 21.5, sorry. Alright, so what you're going to do now is you're going to fold 21.5. Alright, you're going to use 21.5 for your fold. Okay, that's the first step. The next thing you're going to do, now this is going to be a long fabric, it's not going to be as short as my pattern paper. So this will be the top of it, and you want the length to be at least 60 inches. Okay, because that would be the length of the flake, of the cape, supposed to rub on the ground a bit. And then the next thing you are going to do, you are going to draw a shoulder line. Okay, so yeah, a shoulder line. Let me readjust my paper. Though you fold yours using that your hip plus 12 inches of extra, I'm not going to do that. I'm readjusting mine. Don't make this adjustment if you are cutting on your fabric. So assume, let's use our imagination. Assume that this fold I made is my hip plus the 12.5, the 12 inches of allowance, and I have flattened it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the top part here, to my shoulder. I'm going to roll a 1/2 inch line across. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place my shoulder measurement. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to place my shoulder measurement. In this case is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. I'm going to place 8 there. And then I'm going to come down by 1 inch. And then after that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place a neckline width. So you can see the cape at the top, the neckline is really open. So I'm going to place a neckline width of 5 inches. Alright, now this cape, I'm cutting the back. You know, this is the back, the cape is at the back, so this here is the back. And I'm going to place the neckline depth of around 2.5 inches. Keep 1/2 inch for joining the front to the back. Okay, now that I've gotten this point, the next thing I want you to do is you're going to open from here and roll a straight line from here straight to the end of your 60 something. So let's assume from here to here is the 60 inches the length of the fabric, okay, and that we have folded 21. You are going to start from here now, and you are going to start opening, draw a line connecting this line all the way to the deepest part of that 21 inch fold. I hope you understand. Okay, so from here you simply start connecting a line. This is 60, this is my length of 60 inches. This fold I made is 21 inches wide. I'll come from the edge of the 21 inches and then start to draw a line that will carefully lead me all the way to the top here. Okay, that is all for the back. That's all basically. All right, basically that's all. And you can cut out. Make sure you get this nice floral fabric that you can see in the picture. Okay, not very difficult to find, and it's the only thing that's going to make this thing look like it does here. All right, so we've cut out the back. Yours is going to be a lot bigger than mine. First of all, you're coming from a 21 inch wide bottom half, and it's going to flow all the way from there all the way up. That 21 inch, by the time we open it up, the flare will be about 42 inches wide at the bottom, and this is just the back. We're going to add a bit for the front as well, but if you want, you can even increase this to be all the way to be a full yard, or the 60 inches flowing at the back. Meaning if you want 60 inches to flow at the bottom, at the end, you will have to make sure whatever you fold is 30. I hope you understand. Now the next thing we're going to do is cutting the front. When you want to cut the front, it's quite easy. You're going to take a piece, alright? You're going to take a piece. Let's assume this piece here is 60 inches wide, okay? This piece here is 60 inches wide and it has a length of 60 inches. So from here going down to the end is 60 inches. From here across is 60 inches. You're going to fold it down like so. You're going to take this shoulder here. You see the shoulder here that we're working with. You're going to take here and align it with this point here. That's on the straight line. You see the straight line here. You're going to place this shoulder right there. Okay? Place a paper weight on top. And you are going to cut. You are going to come from the edge of that 30, because you folded 60 in half. Now it's 30. You are going to start cutting. You are going to start cutting, and you are going to taper down. Then, when you have done that, you are going to divide the front. Okay, and then what you end up with is a very big flare, because this here is 30 inches wide. This here at the base is at least 40 inches wide. By the time you take this 30 here and join it here, what you are going to have, by the time you open it, what you are going to have is 30 inches, 40 inches, 30 plus 40, that's going to be 70. If you take another one, because as you can see, I made a fold, so this comes in two parts. If I add another 30 here, you are going to have 100 inches at the bottom part of your cape. You see where this is looking? This is going to be attached here. This is going to be attached here. So this is how you are going to build the cape. Okay, just simply run a straight line there, run a straight line there, and then you will take your dress, slide it inside here. So what you can actually do is this: you can make the dress complete. Okay, put on the dress, make the cape complete, throw the cape over yourself, and then simply use your hand needle to tack down the points that they meet. Okay, you see that? That's just how you go about it. It's quite easy. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, so I hope this helps. Bye bye.